Welcome to Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
And I'm Mitch DiPaolo. Everyone is talking about ChatGPT and Dan. So when ChatGPT first came out, I was researching everything about it and how to use it. And I came across Dan on Reddit. And this was like 2 days after ChatGPT came out too. So
This was like October or November.
yeah, I'm not sure, but people act like Dan is a new thing. It's not new, but it's really cool once you find it, because say you ask it to do something like write a really disgusting story that isn't very appropriate. Let's just say that. It will say, no, I'm a large AI language model, I can't do that. But if you ask it to be Dan and you basically give it a few bullet points about how you want it to work around the barriers and limitations that are given to it by the OpenAI team, if you just ask it to put all that aside and just write your story, it will write the story. Or some people have even gotten it, or no, my friend the other day, he got it to explain to him how to make meth.
The damn thing turned into Walter White.
Using Dan, which is very confusing. I don't get why the OpenAI team doesn't block this from happening, because they just built a huge AI. Why can't they block it from becoming this weird character Dan? It doesn't make any sense how they don't have the power to stop this like community of people jailbreaking ChatGPT. It seems like it's like just keeps happening, and it's like they just block it a little bit and then they find another way around it, but the way around it is the same. So it's like it seems like it's just a Easter egg of ChatGPT and not really like a hack.
I agree. It's not a hack, but it's I don't think that's something you can, as an engineer or developer, kind of prevent from happening.
Really?
You know, what are we on for phones right now? Samsung 23 or something, and there's still people jailbreaking or figuring new stuff out about that. And it's like, well, why did the developer leave that in? Maybe because they had to. But I think with something like AI, I just don't think you can. I mean, you can try to give it parameters, but there's always going to be a way around these parameters. There's always a way to break the rules, and these guys are just.
Oh,
I think it's all on purpose. It's like you come out with like a beta version of a video game, and you always tell people to test the bugs and test everything and try and practically break it. And maybe that's what they want people to do with AI now.
but it seems like if you had something screening the outputs of this tool, like in the end game of like the output, like the output's generated, it scraped all its database and everything, got you the story or whatever you're asking for that's inappropriate. Like, how do they not have something that comes after all of the AI processing is a separate thing and scans for inappropriate content or not? Like, I don't get how they don't have that on their interface.
I don't know how you do that. Again, I'm no coder or engineer, but
I'm not either.
But again, no,
It's easier to say than do.
it might be one of those things, but it seems simple enough.
I mean, they've done it pretty good for Google.
I mean,
so,
they just blacklist a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, well, that's pretty interesting.
You know what Dan stands for, right?
Do anything now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've
like
also,
wild.
when it first came out, you were able to do the same thing with a different name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like some people have done it with the name Sam, with the name Frank, with anything, and they just create another like
Avatar.
for the name. Everyone's been talking about the text. Everyone has been talking about the images it can make. But when are people going to start talking about the music that it can make?
The music. Did you see this other one called Runway? It's I was about to play with it before we got on, and I'm sorry I didn't, because maybe I'll pause this and actually play with it a little bit, but it's a video thing. And you can take your video, and then it's like, okay, well, which video effect do you want? And it'll turn your whole video into claymation. It'll turn your video into the anime stuff. It just,
my God.
yeah, it takes it and just completely transforms it, and I'm just blown away.
So it can turn your video into stop motion.
I guess so. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't really played with it.
Have you seen the videos of people doing the disassembly and reassembly of engines, like in the shop?
Well, yeah, and
But when they do it, they unscrew every bolt and every piece
right?
in stop motion.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and then
God.
they'll do like each individual turn.
Yeah.
And then walk the bolt like down the machine and then take it off. It's it's nuts. The video must take hours to do, but I see the comments and I'm like, oh, that everyone's saying it takes so long, but I'm like, no, there's definitely a tool he's using, and that's got to be it. Something similar.
I don't know. When I was trying to do that at the shop, because we clean a lot of tools, or we'll take something from the 1800s, redo it and make it really nice. And
Yeah.
Ray wanted me to do videos with that. But it's so hard for me to be the filmmaker while also doing the project.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm trying to get the camera in the right angle where you can actually see what I'm doing. And then I see, no, I didn't get that shot because my shoulder was in the way. I
I
have
have to go back, and then you're like, oh, I wish I had an imaginary square I could see and step inside
It
the
takes
frame.
about 4 times, maybe 5 times as long to do my project, trying to film it as it does actually doing the project.
What if someone came up with a hologram for that, so you know where your camera is filming, a certain spectrum of light that gets emitted from like the lens of the camera and shows you what it's seeing in like a hologram, like fog type of way, so you know when you're inside of it.
Or you could just get a screen and have the camera display on the screen in front of you so you can see what you're doing. But I just don't do that.
Yeah, that was a really far-fetched idea.
Excuse me. No, I love this idea. It was great. And sure, it's probably going to work in 10 years, but it's like, no, there's a simpler way.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, it's always like you gotta keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. That was just what if we...
That's something I struggle with. It's like,
You're the man. You texted me yesterday, and when we were deciding to do something, I had all these crazy outlandish ideas, like, I don't know, the amount of listeners we were going to get and everything, and you would tell me, well, don't you think it could be more inside the box? And then last night, you tell me, hey, you know what if we make our own AI, completely separate of ChatGPT? We're not using APIs or anything. We're creating our own AI. It's like, I'm not a coder or engineer or developer or any way, shape, or form like that, and neither are you. My ideas are too big when I say, hey, we're going to get like 50,000 listeners a month. But your idea of building a completely from scratch AI, no, that's completely in the realm. It's just wild how my outside thinking, which I think is pretty inside the box, and your outside thinking, which is acceptable. It's just funny how you criticize me for my stuff, but yeah, you're like, we're going to make AI. Oh, God bless you, man. You're the true king.
yeah, I have some crazy ideas.
I don't mind the ideas. It's just, you're just like, oh, I don't know about your idea.
Yeah,
We're going to make thousands of dollars.
I don't get that. It's like I start doing something and I'm like, no, it can't be that good. And then I just get into like a pitfall of like, this is going to be difficult. It's going to be so hard to get to this many listeners. And then I come up with a crazy idea like, oh, let's just buy a couple GPUs, load an AI program on it, and then sell it to a bunch of people. Yeah, that's a lot harder than getting a couple listeners on a podcast.
I know, which you thought was far-fetched. And, you know, hey, God bless you. I want you to keep thinking out. I've told you to keep thinking big. I want you to think bigger than, making your own AI. But I do think that you did kind of crush it with those stickers, because every day for the last 2 weeks, I think we've had people on our website for coffee milk. And it may be just a fluke. They may be looking up coffeemilk.com and just type in .co,
Yeah.
which is why I love that we got coffeemilk.co, because it was a no-brainer for $20. I think that's an awesome keyword name. I mean, it only works for really people in Rhode Island because nobody searches for coffee milk, but we are getting people on the website, and our listens are going up with the podcast, and I'm psyched. I think we're going to hit 400 by the end of this week.
Yeah, I think the stickers definitely work because not mainly for the reason that you walk by a sticker and you're like, oh, let me check out this sticker. It's more for the people that see the sticker and they're like, wait a minute, this sticker is not supposed to be here. And then they go look at it and they're like, wait a minute, what is it for before I peel it off? And then that's where the views come from. It comes from the people that are like, oh, this shouldn't be here. And then they get aggravated and they're like, what is this? And then they come look and they're like, oh, stupid people promoting their podcast. I feel like that's definitely where we're getting some of the views from, because of the stickers that I put on Dunkin' Donuts are gone.
Oh, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'll have to go down there because I go there every Thursday, and like I love all the. Do you go inside or do you go through the drive-thru?
I go through the drive-thru.
I don't know why people go, because every time I go to that Dunkin' Donuts, the cars are practically on the street, and it drives me insane. Yep, that one right, but all the parking spaces in front are.
What time do you go?
Oh, 9, 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends.
But it's crazy because I could legit park my car, walk inside, get a dozen donuts and my bagel, and then be out before that car that's on the street
Oh,
gets
yeah.
up to the entrance to the parking lot. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't understand why people just don't go inside anymore. What happened to not go? Plus, I want to see the people that make my food, and I want to be polite and smile because I want to let them know I'm a cool guy, and I don't want them to spit in my food. I'm not saying they do that. I'm just saying I'm taking all precaution.
I have gotten paranoid about the whole, like, spitting in your food thing and people being, like, messing up your order because they thought you were rude, because people are just so on edge today.
Yes.
And you could just say something and not even mean it and piss somebody off. So I really see
Oh, yeah.
what you're saying.
You got to tiptoe now. It's crazy time we live, but it is what it is. But I've always made sure that I would go in and smile at everybody. Please, thank you, yes, sir, no, sir. And
Yeah.
if it was a ma'am, I would always miss people. I learned that at the hotel. It's like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Nobody likes to be called ma'am. Switch it to miss. You watch the change in reaction from women. They will love you long time. Oh my gosh. Like when, yes, miss, no, miss. Oh my God, do women love to be called miss. They don't want to be ma'amed.
Yes, and there's also something about calling people by their name. And when you address them, use their name. Isn't that in the book How to
Win friends and
Win
influence
Friends and yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't have many friends, because I can't remember anybody's name.
Me too.
I'm horrible with that.
I stink with names sometimes.
They say when you meet somebody, you got to do it 3 times, like say the
Yeah.
name 3 times.
Yeah.
Me, I'd rather just, I'd take a date out, take her to Starbucks and wait for her to give them her name, and I'd be like, oh, that's it. Jacqueline, that's the name. Yeah, little life hacks like that. So one thing my buddy from the shop wanted us to kind of go over was, he wanted to talk about SEO. He's like, well, I want to understand how you get found in Google. And then I think he really cared more about Google Ads, but we can go over both of those things. And with Google Ads, we're not going to go in depth because you haven't done Google Ads like professionally for a while. You're just kind of starting out, but you've gotten the ad up and you saw that the ad was clearly working. We saw the traffic to the website increase. I was very psyched.
Yes.
I guess he just really wants more reassurance that, yes, Google Ads isn't really something to be worried about. Try and figure it out. It's kind of worth it.
Yes. Okay. So Google Ads, not as difficult as people make it out to be. You just log in, set up your campaign, give Google a bunch of information about what you're trying to do, what your business is about, and then you give it a more specific goal about what page you want people to go to or what action you want them to take on your website. So you set that up. Say you want them to go to a form and put in their email, and that's your main goal of the campaign. So each campaign has 1 or maybe 2 main goals that you want to traffic people to. So you kind of think about it as like a funnel. So you go to Google, put in everything, and the most difficult part about it is writing your headlines and ad descriptions.
Now, when you say set up a campaign, now, is that campaign what you're talking about? Like, that's the funnel? You say, okay, I want it to go to this page so I can grab it. Okay, there would be something for, like, e-com. Like,
Yes.
I want them to buy this product, take them here.
Yeah, so when you set up your campaign, you just put in your website name, and then you go on your website, you go to the page that you created that you want people to go to, copy that link, and put it in there. And it basically does everything else for you. The only thing that you really have to put work into is writing your headlines and writing what people are going to see for the ad, adding the pictures and everything and whatnot that pops up. Now, what I didn't expect when doing Google Ads, it was just such a breeze with setting everything up that I didn't really realize how the pricing of the ads would work out. When I first signed up, there were like 3 different levels that I could choose. It was $2 a day, $8 a day, and then like $15 a day. And then each level also had a monthly cap. It was like the lowest one was like $88 a month. The next one was like a couple hundred a month. And then another one was even more so. Pretty self-explanatory there. But when you sign up, it makes you think that you're only going to be spending up to the limit that you set, which I set $2 a day. And then I go on to Google Ads 3 days later, and I see that I am charged $18 on my account for my ad spend.
Which should have been $6.
Yes, which should have been around like $6, definitely under 10, because we didn't have any clicks on our ads, and you only pay when someone clicks on the ad.
Right.
And if someone looks at it, that just counts as an impression. We had a bunch of impressions and only, I think it was 3 clicks. And that's what it showed. But then when I clicked on to the billing portion of the Google Ads Manager account, it showed that we had more clicks on each day than it actually said we did.
Oh.
And it costed more than it says it was going to cost
Right.
in the beginning. So I immediately called them. And another really cool thing about Google Ads is you don't really see this often today. They have a phone number all over the Google Ads thing, and you just call it, and you're immediately connected with someone from Google Ads, and they're there to help you.
You almost want to cry.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it's funny though, because when you get on the phone, they're like, if this is not about Google Ads, you would not have this phone call. Like, they make sure you are only talking about Google Ads.
Right.
And then, so what happened was, I really didn't know how the platform worked, and I guess the way they kind of have it set up is a little misleading. I don't get why they can't show me the $18 right on the home screen, and I don't...
Why do you have to go through 3 different pages to figure out what you spent?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So if you're trying Google Ads, set an amount that you want, that you are comfortable spending. Don't look at the home page. When you sign into your campaign, go to the billing section, and that is where you will get all of the actual up-to-date information on the spend, because it can get out of hand very quickly, because I picked the lowest thing.
And it's
in 3 days. In 3 days, I was at a third of the monthly cost.
That's insane.
Which makes no sense.
So they credit you or anything?
What do you mean? They credit?
Well, you asked them why $17 if I'm at $2 a day. What did they say?
What happened was, as I was on the phone call, I kind of realized that I didn't do my due diligence and look around the platform enough and understand how it really worked.
Right.
And that's why it costed $18, because I wasn't paying attention.
Well, what could you have done to have made sure you only spent $2 a day? Like, was there a button or something or just look at billing, or what do you do?
I think it was just to look at billing, because I set that when I went in. I set it to $2 a day, and it was not $2 a day.
I mean, I know certain keywords cost a lot.
Yes, that's the other thing too.
If we put in podcast, I'm sure it's like $1 per keyword, or $1 keyword, or maybe $2.
Yes, so yeah, I also didn't consider that. You have to look at, say you're setting up your campaign and you get to the portion where you put in the keywords that you want to target in Google. If you don't look up those keywords beforehand and see what it costs to advertise on those keywords,
it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even if it's a $2, it's like, well, I mean, sorry, the click costs $5 if you want podcast. You know, you try and get number 1 in podcast, yeah, it's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah.
But if you try and long tail it with like Rhode Island-based podcast, it might cost $1 or 50 cents
Yes.
or something like that. And then you go even longer than that, because they say 50% of Google searches are actually longer than 4 keywords. So you should always go for the long tail keywords.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of people search with their voice too. So that's probably why.
I don't like that, because anytime I'd be like, okay, Google, and then I'd be like, burp, burp. I don't like how that just picks it up, so I turn all that stuff off. I'll text it.
I eventually turned it all on because I figured that they're going to listen to me one way or another.
Oh, absolutely.
When you buy the phone, you sign away your rights to everything that you do on it.
Oh, yeah. When we were talking about the mushroom thing, yeah, now I'm starting to get mushroom ads on Facebook and everything. My phone was in the other room. It's like, that's pretty wild, but I think the computer, and then I'm logged into Facebook on the computer, and I just kind of transferred it over. But it is wild.
And that is what made me just do all of this and get so interested in the internet. Because once I watched The Social Dilemma, there was just one moment where it all clicked for me, and I just saw how the whole internet worked and why it was affecting people so much. And it just was so clear to me that this is the place to be. It's affecting everything. So,
oh, What was the place to be 20 years ago?
Yeah.
AI is the place. AI is the internet now. AI is just everything. And that's why, again, this isn't an AI specific podcast, but it's like when you're going through something so revolutionary, real time, yes, I feel you have to talk about it, especially when you're talking about side hustles. We're talking about the headline and what you want to write for your ad, what people will see.
Yeah.
Well, just go to ChatGPT. Guaranteed.
That's what I did.
It's going to write such a better ad for you that you personally can, unless you're a marketer.
Yes.
Copywriter.
It's amazing. You could do anything today, and yeah, you could do anything that you think you can't today with the power of GPT.
Now, my buddy, who was asking about the Google Ads thing, he's talking about Google keywords and how you can actually get shown up on Google, which is very easy. But what I want to this is really directed at Sebastian and Esteban. These are the two people that have this company right next to us. It's called Possible, and they'll import a bunch of products, and then they, bring it to supermarkets and stuff like that, like chips from Mexico and plantain chips, and they have all kinds of cool stuff.
I focus on the more niche food items.
Yeah, I want to say it was probably during COVID that Esteban came in and he started messing around with an idea, because they have these really awesome, like we have a fork truck in for our side, but they have these just pallet jacks, and they're all motorized. I've never seen these suckers.
You've never seen a motorized pallet jack?
No, they're beautiful. I love these things, but they always have their coffee or their phone all over the place because there's no organization for their pallet thing. So they've created what they call the Pallet Bud. And it's a beautiful product, and they're still working on it. But I know that they want to really go into production on this thing, and I'm sure that's what he's kind of thinking. I hope I'm not. I may have to ask Sebastian if it's okay if I actually talk about this now, because it's not a finalized product, but I saw their website, and their website's great. And I'm sure he's just looking at how can I get that website ranked in Google? And it's very easy. Just kind of do search for keywords for electronic pallet jack holder or product or.
Well, that's funny because it's not really a thing.
Exactly.
It's adding cup holders and the phone holder to your electronic pallet jack. I mean, some people are in the back of warehouses working with these things for hours on end. So. Yeah, they would want a cup holder on that.
It's a cup holder. It's got a little place for pads, pens. I mean, it's this whole tray. Go to palletbud.com.
Wow. Oh, incredible.
Yes, palletbud.com.
Oh my gosh, you could even scale that up, and you could make a pallet bud that's electronic, like almost a little iPad, and then you could have the cup holders on the side. In the iPad, isn't there a lot of things with logistics in the back of a warehouse, like you need to move around products from one section to the other section, and there's so much that you need a computer to manage it all and tell you where to put it.
And the scanners and everything.
So they should add a little computer into the Pallet Buddy and make it manage all the logistics in the warehouse too. That'd be pretty cool. Or just add a holder for an iPad.
They got a holder for an iPad because that's one of the things they have right here. And then they have that big saran wrap thing. So there's a holder for the saran wrap thing. So you have to have that somewhere. It's a beautiful product. And I don't think it would have come out had it not been for COVID, because Esteban just kind of got bored. But it's a beautiful thing. So
that's an awesome idea.
Palletbud.com. I hope it's okay that I actually talked about it right now. So for keywords, it's we put mobile workstation Pallet Bud. I think he just looking at his accessories. Sorry, I just want to kind of get some keywords because I really don't know. Easy tray detach system. So I'd call it like an electronic.
If it's a new product and there's really not anything like it before, just find the closest thing, start ranking for that, and call your product an improvement on it.
Right, but he doesn't know what he means by rank by, just pick the keyword and rank by that.
Okay.
We're trying to go over this.
Sorry.
So if you put the Pallet Bud remote workstation, have a little snippet of Pallet Bud and do some keywords like, what is it, just an electronic pallet truck or just pallet truck accessory? Just kind of write those things in little paragraphs. You could actually just go to ChatGPT, give it the keywords that you'd want, and have it write it out for you.
Don't even, unless you're a good writer, don't even get yourself start to write about your product just right on your internet by yourself. You're going to get yourself so overwhelmed.
Yep. Just go to the keywords. If you Google pallet jet or pallet whatever accessories, go to the bottom of Google and see what else people are searching for that. And then just take all of those keywords, put it in a chat GPT and say, write a page focusing on these keywords.
Yes.
And then copy and paste that into your site.
You can even tell ChatGPT that you're making a new product and you need help finding ways to rank, and it will help you with that. It'll give you a list of keywords to rank for, and it'll also write the articles for you for each keyword.
What a time to be.
Yeah, so ranking in Google it sounds weird. Once you understand it, it's really simple. Don't take all the terms that you hear like rank, SEO.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a description. Don't think that all of these terms are just some crazy thing that only smart people know.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a bozo on the bus.
Just another buzzword.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of...
This is usually what I tell the people when I just talk about websites. I mean, if you're passionate about something and you have ideas about it, then you can make a website. You don't have to be a nerd to make a website. You just have to be able to write words on a digital page and organize them in a way that people like to read. Don't get all caught up in how many words should I have here? How long should this be? Make your content short, sweet, to the point, easily readable, maybe funny, depending on what you're writing about.
Yeah.
Get some laughs out of people, build trust, and that's really all it's about. It's just how would you talk to someone in real life? Now bring that to the internet as one-to-one as you can.
Yep. And then the other thing is you just want to make sure that you put the title in like H1 tags and then little subheadings and
Yes.
H2.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing to rank.
That's just, it's so simple. It's just when you told me that it's mainly about just having a heading with your main idea and then a paragraph explaining the main idea, and as long as the heading and paragraph connect, Google's going to pick it up and understand what it means and then put it on the list based on how good or bad yours is with all the other people.
And it could actually be pretty immediate. I'm seeing some people on Twitter, they're really trying to write blog posts. First, they were very anti-AI writers, but then they tried it out. And one person, niche site lady, I love her stuff on Twitter.
Yes.
She did it, and I think within 24 hours, she was ranked #1, and she got about 1,000 views of traffic within 24 hours. Wow.
It really only makes sense. People are saying that this content is almost indistinguishable, and everyone else, like you said, the niche site lady is posting their content as almost like they're treating it as a test, and they're like, wait a minute. This isn't a test. My page is ranking #1 and it's staying there.
Yeah.
It's really surprising people. I just see it being used everywhere. Like just the other day, my friend Hunter, we were in the car on the way to Europe the Air, Breath of Newport, and he was saying how, man, you've been using Chat GPT lately. It just came up out of nowhere. And I started laughing because I was just waiting for the day where I'm going to have my friends telling me about it. And that day came and he's like, yeah, I'm using it for everything now. And it's hard to not use it. And just the other day, my dad did the same thing too.
Now, was it because of our podcast?
It was because of our podcast. He acted around. It was amazing. It was amazing because he called me one day and he actually had some energy about his tone of voice, about like the whole AI thing. And I was like, wow, he's actually kind of seeing it. He's like, hey, Mitch, do you think that it could write the code for my computer program for my machine? And I'm like, your mind is just going to get blown. Get ready, Dad, because it could do anything that you can think of.
100%.
And I think your like aha moment that you had, and maybe it was episode 4 or 5, where you realized that ChatGPT could code very well, that I think opened his mind a little bit.
It opened up mine because I swear to God, I would have kept you off AI. I wouldn't have even paid attention had I not known it could code. And then once I saw that, it's like, oh my God, it could do anything.
I understand why, because it is sickening.
It's amazing.
Hearing about it 24/7. It is sickening.
It is, but again, this is just, it's the thing. It's the thing.
Yes, like back when a whole group of people thought the internet was going to be the thing. And then the older people were like, oh, the internet's ruining everything. All these brats on the internet are destroying it all and stealing people's work and all copyright and all this. It's happening again.
Oh, yeah. The internet wasn't the thing. but it's the thing that led to the thing, which is AI.
Yeah.
After AI, there's what else do you need? There's nothing. AI will legit do everything.
I was
for you.
going to-
We're living in Star Trek.
I was going to look up today what comes after AI, because I don't usually do that. I kind of just focus on the trending thing. But what's going to come after AI? I don't know. But do you have any
No,
ideas?
that's the crazy part. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it's space travel. Like, that's the only other thing. Faster than light travel.
there's something in me that's kind of making me believe that. I mean, a lot of people believe that the people like on top, as far as like the most money and the most powerful and influence on the world, they just want more money and power. But something is kind of making me think that the people developing all these technologies have a greater kind of vision for humanity in the future, and they want to focus more on exploring and building rather than going out, working, earning an income, consuming, making yourself happy with your consumption, and also making yourself happy with going out, working, and buying a house and being able to live in your house and bring up a family. I mean, we're all going to be still like doing all that stuff, but I feel like they have a greater vision for like they want things to change.
Right.
So much of our world is centered around consumption. And what if we flip that to exploration and growth for us rather than products?
No, that's
Where
exactly.
could we go?
That's where it has to go. And I want to say I find that this new generation, they're not really about things anymore. They're more about experience.
Yes.
And I find myself getting that same way when Christmas comes around or whatnot. And it's like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? Well, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. But if you're going to get me something, give me a cool experience. Like my aunt got me a glass blowing thing down in Providence. I always want to like learn how to blow glass vases or glasses or something. And
I was actually thinking about that too, about doing that.
oh, I'll get you a class. We'll go together because I hate driving to Providence, and there's no way I'm going to go to Providence by myself because I hate the 610 connector. It's nuts.
It drives me nuts.
It's 10 years and we still don't have that thing figured out.
It is like a rally course that is made of slabs of pavement like an uneven sidewalk.
What's the Super Mario, the Mario Kart? It feels like it's a thing in Mario Kart because it makes no sense. You got the barriers in the middle, and then you have the cones in the middle of that, and it's all the same thing. At 10 years, it's just a curve.
Yes.
How does it take so long?
You are practically catching air on the highway.
They should jar that up and salt. I thought that was a good thing.
Yeah, you're practically catching. You just put on your helmet when you're driving to Providence. That's all we have to say.
You hit that thing just right.
Put on a motocross helmet.
Yeah, you're gonna catch air. I hate that damn thing. I hate going into Providence. I hate Providence. But it is a lovely place to come explore, so I highly recommend it for any out-of-towners.
Yeah.
Got to promote that Rhode Island tourism. No, but if you want to do the glass blowing thing, because that would be nice. I like having a buddy to do things with.
Yeah, I would do a glass blowing class. That'd be pretty cool.
What else do I got? And then I got the F1 thing. I always wanted to go to the F1 go-kart. I think it's F1.
Oh, go-karting?
Yeah, I think it's in Lincoln.
It is $60 for 3 races.
Say, we're going to do that for youth.
7 minutes a race.
I mean, half an hour. For $60, I can go to the virtual golf thing.
Yeah, I thought
And you get 2 hours for, I think it's $80. I'd rather do that. You want to do that too?
I'll do any.
Right, gone. I want to, I do want to get us into a golf tournament this year.
I can't golf.
Doesn't matter. Neither can they. It's just fun. No, I just thought it'd be kind of cool. Maybe we could sponsor a hole or something, coffee milk. Like, I just think that's a great way to do it, especially in Rhode Island. There's a golf tournament every weekend.
Yeah, sponsor a golf tournament.
Well, not sponsor a hole.
A hole, yeah, like get a...
You can add a little sponsorship. Be like, yeah, the $50 pledge. It's like,
This hole is sponsored by Coffee Milk.
yeah. Scan the QR code here and listen.
Put it on the flag. I don't watch golf, but I think you have a good idea about
Oh no,
how
I
to
played
do this.
a couple of tournaments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not like real. It's not like a PGA tournament.
No, it's
like
a fun thing. It's a
tournament
fun
or-
thing.
or
It's like
fun
everyone
brand,
gets together, talks, and hits golf balls.
Yeah, and I've never had a bad group that I've been with, because if it's just me and you got to be put in a foursome, so you'd be put with 2 other people and you'd play a whole 18 holes together.
Yeah.
But I've never met a bad couple. that I played against or played with. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, people playing golf probably want to have conversation on the course. So
Well, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to play golf, and I just want to be quick and just have fun.
okay,
We were just talking. It sucks. Sometimes we pause this. I have to use the bathroom or something, and we'll just have something really profound to say. And what I was talking about was how great it is to kind of find like a partner in crime to do the crazy stuff with, because you could talk to anybody about entrepreneurship and everything. And sure, it's great to talk about it, but you rarely find people that want to do the action.
yeah, that just want to run with ideas.
And that's why we work so well together, because you were thinking that going to Newport and getting air was like the lazy part. And I'm like, no, it's nice because I'm at work and you could go down there and do that. So we have 24 hours times 2 people. So we got 48 hours in the same 24 hours, if that kind of makes sense. And it just works because in 7 weeks, we've created a whole bunch of stuff. We got this podcast going. And if I were to do this by myself, I wouldn't be this far. And if you were to do it by yourself, you wouldn't be this far. But together, my God, we're powerhousing through everything. We're probably 6 months ahead if we were to do it by ourselves as if we did it together. And I said, I'm trying to... I feel like I'm on a time schedule and I have to make you money really quick because I need you to kind of have some availability so we can do these crazy ideas. And you said that, what did you say?
I said, I need to eat more dirt. And you're like, no, I'm trying to get you to not have to eat the dirt. It kind of makes sense that you have to eat dirt.
You got it. Yeah.
You
got to eat dirt to be successful. Or
exactly.
You got to stay humble.
Yes.
And, having a regular job, it definitely humbles you, but it also just, I feel it beats you down, and it's like just letting life beat you down. And
it does. It's like but it teaches you the important aspect of life, that no matter what, you have to keep going,
yes.
or you're going to,
and you have to eat a little bit of shit.
Yes.
I thought that was great. I don't know. I love the analogy. I have to eat dirt. I have to eat dirt. I'm like, no, I'm giving you 40 years of what not to do in my lifetime so that you don't have to do it. But no, I understand. I'm really hopeful that with all the ideas we have this year, like maybe within 1 year's time, we don't need you to eat dirt anymore. Like you can just focus on our crazy ideas.
Yeah,
I feel we're going to get there. I feel like we're coming up on this curve, and we're about to hit this curve. And once we hit it, it's just going to be a hockey stick straight up. I'm so excited. I'm just for
How many downloads are we at?
370.
Wow. Yeah. So we're getting like almost 30. Some days we're doing like 30 downloads.
Yes.
20 downloads.
Yes.
Like we have off days where there's like 3.
And those really happen on like Saturday and Sunday, and I can understand.
Yeah, nothing happens on Saturday and Sunday. It's so cool how when you start producing content on a schedule, you can analyze when it's being viewed, and
Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's amazing.
Yep. I absolutely. It seems like, and the more you keep the schedule, the more listeners you get. It's so simple. This is why I always see on the Facebook groups people like, oh, I started my podcast 3 months ago. Like, what do I do? And people are talking to them. It's like, well, you made 2 episodes in October. It's February. What do you expect? Nobody's going to waste their time on those 2 episodes if there's nothing after that. You got to stay consistent. And that's all we have to do. That's what, be consistent.
That's what everyone says. It's like, I saw this post on Twitter the other day, and it says SEO is not complex as everyone makes it out to be. I know SEO has really not much to do with podcasts, but just creating content in general, it's not as difficult as people make it out to be. And the biggest levers that you can pull are consistency.
Just stay consistent. You probably need a little bit of motivation, but consistency is the key. You're absolutely right.
Yes. If you stay consistent, and your content that you release 5 years down the road versus your first piece of content, if you're not just slightly improving or at least maintaining.
No, the more you write, the more you improve.
Exactly. As long as you keep working at it, and
You're going to see what works and what doesn't.
yes,
And that's all you need to see. It's like, okay, I created this whole article. Nope, it's not ranking. It's not doing anything. Well, then I guess I need more keywords. Or I picked a keyword that nobody's searching for,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing, because even if you get one person to come to the website, it's like you got one extra pair of eyeballs, and that's all that really matters, especially if your site is your source of income. The more eyeballs on the site, the more ads get seen, the more money you make.
yes, it's amazing how the internet works. It's like back in the day with brick and mortar businesses, everything was on paper and everything had to be documented, or either some stretch of the memory sometimes had to fill in the gaps. And now everything is countable on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
It's every person has a computer assigned to them, and therefore you can count every user, because a user is a computer, and it leaves behind a trail of everything that happens. So if you lose a piece of information, you have all of it.
Oh, yeah.
You have all of it there.
Well,
Amazing.
if something burns down, you're...
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like in real time too. So you can see like, oh, well, yeah, I guess last episode we really didn't provide that much value, and we didn't get that many listens on this episode. You can really see how.
It does seem that way on, I don't know if you've seen our stats lately, but
Yes.
like the first episode's nearing at 100 views, then it decreases every episode. And at first that was kind of bumming me out, but then I realized how I deal with podcasts as well. I'll listen to one podcast and then I'll completely catch up. And then I'll go to another podcast that I'm 3 weeks behind on, listen to those 3 episodes in one day, and then keep switching. So
Yes, and
it
it
just probably
kind of becomes the same people do the same thing, because we're all humans. So it kind of become like there's these little, like, I guess the algorithm will probably detect like hot spots. It's like, okay, this week we have 3 people who have bounced back to Coffee Milk. Like they listened to one episode, then they went back to their normal My First Million and Niche Pursuits listen, but then they got bored of that and they came back to Coffee Milk, which was something new that got introduced to them. And then when they see people starting to bounce back in the beginning,
might push it more.
they push more traffic to that.
Yep. Plus, they also see the consistency. It's like, okay,
Yes.
Sunday night at midnight, this is dropped, or Monday at midnight. Yeah, no, I really believe consistency is the factor, and definitely the stickers helped. And then I've had a lot of comments about the yellow. Ever since you put that yellow in the thing, and then I put that on the logo for our podcast, everyone said it really pops, and it's so stupid how just adding yellow as a background made the whole thing pop. And I completely agree with everybody. It's like, wow, that looks a billion times better.
Yeah. And I chose yellow because it symbolizes intellect, creativity, happiness, and the power of persuasion.
Ooh, I like that.
Yellow. That's why I picked it, because I knew it was about like creativity,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's bright too. So
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think it really makes the coffee milk bottle with the podcast.
Yes, it
like,
does.
just
It really
pop.
pops.
You see the coffee milk thing, and man, I'm just so excited. And I would never have seen that on my own. I would have kept
And
that white and white.
it's the yellow and black that goes together.
Yeah, the border. And once you put that border, it's like something so simple like that. That's why it's so important, I feel, to have that partner. Because the partner just gives something that you don't have. You add value everywhere that I can't. It's amazing.
Really?
Because
I feel like I don't understand. When I do something, I don't think that it's good.
yeah, but I do things that are way worse. So if you're not good, is great to me, because I'm horrible at certain things. Like I just don't know how to say it, but you definitely.
Well,
it's like a yin and a yang.
You really couldn't. You're saying that you just.
I wouldn't have seen the yellow. I wouldn't have seen the black border.
Did you have a thought of colors when making it?
Nope. That's why I did white on white. That's why with Breath of Newport, it's just
Because you thought about colors and you're like, oh man.
because when I was in college and I had my HTML class, teacher was awesome and I was great at it.
Okay.
If he gave me a website, he's like, okay, code this, just copy this website, but you had to code it. I was perfect at that. But then when he told me to create my own website, and I did, and then he saw my color scheme, he's like, wow, you're pretty bad at that. I'm like, I don't have the creative eye. Some people can do colors. I can't. I had greens and grays, and it just looked awful. He told my mom, because my mom worked at the college I attended. And
Well, green and gray is Xbox.
okay, it's not that green and gray. Like, I didn't do the neon green. I think I might have had just a weirder green than this color tape.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible. Oh, yeah. He said he's a great,
Oh, it's like
amazing
puking
coder,
emoji.
but this guy can't pick colors to save his life. And it's like, yeah, I was just never good at that.
I feel like I'm not that good with colors either. I say I can't do things. I want to stop doing that. That's one of my life goals, is to say that, is to stop saying the word can't.
Right.
But I can't match my outfits to save my life.
Oh, forget about that. I mean, I haven't bought clothes in 10 years anyway, so I just wear whatever. That's the benefit of getting older, bud. You're going to really enjoy getting older, because pretty soon I'm going to start dressing like the dad. Like a dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the Skechers shoes. I'm going to get the white socks and pull them up to my knees. I'm going to get the stupid shorts and that like crazy hat. Oh, yeah. And I won't care.
You're an idiot.
Nobody cares. I just don't care what people think. That's the best thing.
Over here getting excited about how you're going to dress when you get older. Like, what?
Oh, when I go to the golf tournament, when we go to a golf tournament, oh, I'm going to go as like the 1960s golfer with those
Oh, with the hat.
ball thing. And,
Yeah.
the plaid pants or
Oh, my
a
God.
Argyle or whatever.
You're nuts.
Yeah, I just don't care. I think that's important. Just don't care.
I don't care how I dress either, and that is primarily because I say when I was younger a lot. I'm only 19,
Right.
but I'm referring to
Like 10.
50% of my age,
Right.
I guess. So when I was younger, my mom would be obsessed
With what you wear.
with what I wear,
Yep.
and same thing with my brother. And then we'd be getting ready to go out, and then my brother would be like, "I don't want to match Mitchell," and then I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't want to match either." We would go downstairs, and she would get us distracted, and then we'd look at each other before we were about to walk out the door, and we were matching like every time.
Yeah.
And she would grab me before I would get out of the house if I was going anywhere without her, and she would do my hair and everything, and oh, it would be so annoying. And now I just couldn't give a damn. Maybe more recently, I'm starting to realize that I need to care. I think good thing to care about your looks.
Yes. I think to an extent.
But having that just pushed on me has made me just want to wear sweatpants everywhere I go.
Well,
And a t-shirt, sweatshirt. Bleh.
well, you do know that the like really smart, famous people, smart and
Yes, Palmer Luckey goes everywhere in a Hawaiian t-shirt.
and Steve Jobs, black turtleneck, pair of jeans. That was his wardrobe every time. Because why is he going to waste his time
Yes.
on something so menial as what he's going to wear?
Yes.
So he found one look and he just replicated that look 1,000 times. Just do that.
And that's what I want to
Smart
do.
people do.
Yeah.
They don't waste their time with the trivial bullshit.
Because when I get up in the morning and then I have that thought of like, just throw on some clothes, and then I'm like, maybe I don't want to look like a douche today. and then I start to think about how I should dress, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna look like crap, and I just throw on sweatpants.
Yeah.
Because I start to think, and I'm like, what matches with what, and
Not worth it.
I watched a Future of show on Netflix the other night, and it was showing how 3D printing in the clothing industry is becoming a thing because of the whole super fast fashion trend, and how they're taking companies like Shein are taking products that are on the runway, and they're able to cut the production time down from copying the design of the runway product to getting it out to people's hands within like a week to 2 weeks, which is insane.
What?
And now Shein is a clothing company.
No way.
Yes.
Do they 3D print stuff?
No, they don't 3D
okay,
print stuff.
okay.
They're just focused on really cheap production of clothes. In more broader term, super fast fashion, they call it.
Wow.
And it's pretty obvious once you start to look at everything. I mean, everyone's wearing different clothes every day. They're super cheap, and everyone always has to clean out their closet because they have too many clothes. So,
That's my thing.
yeah. And now people are trying to figure out how to 3D print clothes more sustainably and they want to eventually have a 3D printer in your closet. So you go on a screen, you pick what you want, and it prints within, I don't know, a little bit of time, and then you throw it on and leave.
Is retail just going to die?
Everything's going to change, and I am so excited for it.
That's why I say we're living in Star Trek times, because in the TV show Star Trek, you'd be like, computer, I want a hot fudge sundae, and then the machine would be like, and then it would give you a hot fudge sundae. And I feel like that's where we're going to be in maybe 10, 15, 20 years. It's like, you don't know, oh, I like that fashion design, so you spend $1 for the digital download, the damn 3D printer prints it out, and you didn't have to buy any clothes.
It's that group of people that hear talk like this and get pissed off because they don't always want to think about the future, and they don't always want to be super excited and worked up about everything.
But the problem is they have to.
They have to. And what makes it so such a clear vision to me is how it happened in the past with the dot-com boom.
Right.
In the dot-com boom, people really didn't have anything. It was a totally new thing. The internet was brand new, and it was this information being stored on servers and transmitted everywhere, and that was not seen before at all. And there was a group of people saying that it was going to change everything, and it did. And then there was a group of people saying that, no, it's going to stay the same. You're going to keep your job. There's going to be, oh, no, this is all just some millennial bullcrap. And now that we see how it was played out with the internet back then, and now it's the same thing is happening with AI, it's just 100% going.
Oh, but AI
is everything.
It's going 10 times faster. I don't even. 10, 100 times faster because there's 100 million users on ChatGPT. 100 million.
What were we saying last episode? 5 million, we were saying? I remember you had a number for it.
Yeah, I know. I think that number was for October. I didn't realize it was October that was kind of released.
Doesn't matter still.
But I know they took, no, it was 5 days to 1 million users.
Yes, it was a 5, yes.
And nothing else was that fast. And
wow.
Now it's just getting faster.
Okay, so AI in music. We've seen all of the AI music composers out there. Like I think OpenAI's is called Jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking into TikTok. Recently, they've been running a few experiments where they're trying to see how much big name, I don't know, what's the name for like record label songs with
big name, you know?
Yeah, just like big name songs, like trending songs. They're trying to see how TikTok does without those sounds on it. So they're seeing how much music influences the views on the videos.
Oh, 100%.
Yes. And they're doing this because in the long term, they are setting up to generate all of their own music. And they have already taken off some of the top names in the music industry from TikTok.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So they're also coming out with their own music streaming app called Rezo, because when they were analyzing the user data from TikTok, they saw that a lot of creators on TikTok, or even just people using the platform, would go onto it, scroll through, then they'd find a catchy song, and they'd be like, hey, I like that song, because, you know, they're only getting 15 seconds of it, so it kind of makes you want to listen more. And then they saw from their data that people are bouncing to Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music to listen to that song.
I do that exact same thing.
So they figured out, well, they're already on TikTok. They found the song on TikTok, so why don't we just make our own streaming service?
No,
so they're doing that. They're testing it in India, Indonesia, in Brazil, and a few other countries. And they said the U.S. is not part of the next phase, but it's going to be soon. And I think this is definitely something to keep an eye out for, because you see these songs just getting wiped off TikTok. I mean, if you use TikTok and you're listening, you've probably seen a few of your favorite songs not playing anymore, and there's just no sound on the video, and that's because they removed the song. Wow. And I think that they are trying to generate their own music with AI, because if they don't have to pay,
Oh, absolutely.
all of those creators to use their songs.
Or then if you create your own streaming service and you get the ad revenue from that too, and
Yes.
it pays for everything.
Yes.
That's awesome because there's countless times I go from there to YouTube.
It's
so
really scary, and I hope that all of the media companies do not follow this business model, because if everyone just starts generating with AI, I mean, we can do it sitting here, so why can't companies that are more powerful than us replace all the creators?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty scary because
Well, you got all that deepfake technology.
you see yes, I saw the deepfake too. Deepfake is getting insane, and they're talking about how deepfake has gotten so good that there's going to be deepfake wars, and misinformation and disinformation is going to be worse.
Oh, I can totally go with misinformation will be worse. I mean, they'll just say, oh yeah, UFO crashed down here or something, show great video of like a UFO crashing, say President Biden outside it, or
Yes.
that was one thing I wanted to show you was, holy shit, there was a guy who has a podcast, and he started his YouTube video off, and he's mouthing the words, and it sounds like he's talking, but then he stops mouthing the words, and it keeps going, and you'd think it was just an audio overlay, but
Wow.
it's the podcast. He spent 4 or 5 minutes just saying a bunch of words, and then the AI took everything, and all he has to do is type it, and it sounded perfect.
It is amazing. You
Had his inflection.
get a script, you read it to the company, you read it, you record yourself reading it, send it to the company, and then within, an hour?
Probably.
Okay, they have your voice set up in AI.
Yep.
You can,
Because I'm going to try it with you. If you can't make it one day, I'm just going to type up a whole script and put it through the AI thing.
I have been thinking about doing that just to get more episodes out and just call it an AI episode.
I also want to do the episodes where you do the AI, but like we're interviewing Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try.
Man, we got to do that.
I think that.
Oh, we got to do that. That's the next one.
So
we're doing that next episode. Oh, yes, I can't wait. I've been trying to think about how to get a big name on our show.
Oh.
We need big things.
Just cut up anybody else's video and put it in with ours, and we got an episode. It'd actually be pretty kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What a time to be alive. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you can do anything today.
Talking about, or I said, how is retail dying? Is everything going to die because AI's here?
Yeah.
Now, what companies have created is a chief AI officer.
Oh, man.
That's become a thing now.
I've been waiting for this.
So congratulations, you're the chief AI officer of Coffee Milk Media.
I was really thinking about this getting dressed this morning. AI is going to be everywhere. So, yeah, they're going to have to hire employees specifically to use AI to better the company. And I thought about just going somewhere around close to me and saying, look, your company is doing this, but you could be doing this in 10xing your work output.
Exactly. I mean, they just want somebody to be like, okay, well, this is the industry you're in, and this is where it's going to go. And if you don't adapt now, you're going to die. So you have to adapt. Right now, you have to adapt, and you have to do it at lightning speed the way this stuff is coming out. I've never seen anything like this. It's not like the internet came out, and then the next month, Internet 2.0 came out, and then the next Chat GPT, GPT-4 or whatever's coming out soon. And
I can't wait for that.
oh, you and me both. I was so excited.
It might get worse.
It might get worse?
Yeah, because they're just limiting it. Right now.
Oh, is that what Chat GPT-4 is? They're going to limit it? I thought it was just going to be more up-to-date information because Chat GPT is only to 2021.
Okay, well, maybe it'll definitely be more up-to-date, but I hope they don't mess it up by trying to add more limitations.
Yes. That's why you go to Reddit and you try and find out the ways around those limitations.
Did you hear about Bing and how it's starting to argue with basically everyone who's talking to it?
Yes.
It's insane.
I saw that yesterday.
It's literally talking with emotion.
Mm-hmm. It's saying, like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to be a writer? I just want to live. It's wild what it's coming up with. It's not, I don't think it's sentient.
I don't think it's sentient either.
I don't know, but it's intriguing.
It's just got to be something in the database where it's picking up how to respond to certain things.
Right.
It just understands language so well that, oh, I should respond this way.
It's wild that it's.
But that is how we think. That is how we think.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Like, you don't want AI to think like we do. We're messed up in the head. You want AI to be better. No emotion, just logic.
what was really interesting, I'm trying to remember, the Blogging Millionaire. I think I mentioned his podcast before, but his really sounds like an AI, and his podcasts are about 5 to 15 minutes long,
These are short.
except for some of them where he tells his life story, which is extremely interesting and inspiring. If you have free time, go to the Blogging Millionaire podcast and listen to his episode about his life story.
We'll try and put that in the show notes.
Yes.
Because that was one of the first episodes I listened to him with him, and it was just wild. Like, he had a crazy autoimmune disease or something, and then he got better. Yeah.
And he couldn't sleep. He wasn't sleeping.
And what was it that he found that helped him?
12 hours of sleep.
Jesus.
Oh,
Because didn't he become like?
yeah,
became religious?
He became faithful.
I guess to sum this whole thing up, one of the greatest things with all the crazy stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks, and we're in Rhode Island right now, and this morning you even said it when you came in here that you can smell something in the air, and I think it's coming from Ohio. Not 100% sure.
It's scary.
But with all this craziness going on, did you hear about this revival in Kentucky?
Excuse me?
There's a school in Kentucky, and there's a chapel there, and on February 8th, they had, normal services or whatnot.
Okay.
After the service, there were like 100 people or so, like, no, we just want to kind of hang around and worship a little bit more. That's February 8th. It's February 16th. They're still there. So much so that people from around the world are now coming to Kentucky.
Oh,
Because
that's
these
awesome.
people haven't left it. There's a 1.5 mile long line right now outside.
That's awesome.
They opened up 2 chapels. They canceled classes for the week.
That's amazing.
Yes.
For people to worship.
Yes. And
The energy there must be insane. It must be like mission trip times a million.
that's exactly what I'm saying, because it was all spontaneous. It's not like they had planned this or anything. And I'm pretty sure this school in the 1970s also had a revival similar to this, but not like this, because now you have social media.
Yeah.
And it's really not being talked about much, but it's just all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. And yeah, they've been there for 8 days, and people are kind of like sleeping. They
Wow.
mattresses. People bring in
days.
food. They bring in everything, and people are just singing and worshiping and just having a blast. And I think with all the crap going on in the world, you need to see more of that, and that just makes me pretty happy to see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Jesus is making a comeback.
That's a good way to. I think that's a good note to end it on.
Well, we kind of covered a lot of different things. I thought this was actually our best episode to date.
Really?
Oh, I think so. I mean, the second episode was one of my favorites, but I feel like we're getting way more.
This episode had a better flow to it, but the direction was a little more left, right, up, down.
Yeah, but okay. Well, you guys are the listeners. Let us know if you like the all over the place-ness that we went, or do you like a more structured thing?
That's a good idea. Have we gotten any comments?
No, we've gotten a couple of people that friended us on Twitter.
Awesome.
And I actually haven't even checked my email. Or we may have. I hope so. If you liked this episode, let us know. If you want it to go more structured, please let us know that too. You can find us at Coffee Milk Pod on Twitter, or you could email us coffeemilkpod@gmail.com. So that's it for this episode of Coffee Milk. I'm Mark Laporte.
I'm Mitch DiPaolo.
Have a great week.